I'm going to give the floor now to Miche, who's co-coordinator of the Francophone network of Emerging Evaluators. Previously, he worked at the Center for Research and Expertise in Evaluation, and I'm going to hand over the floor to him. Keep in mind that you can post your questions and comments in the chat box for them to be answered later on by Miche, and use our hashtag.
Hello. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for having the opportunity to present the Francophone network of emerging evaluators, the coordinator of the emerging countries, and this is for the French-speaking regions. So, where did the initiative to set up the Francophone network of emerging evaluators came? Firstly, we've got to identify that this is a global initiative, a global movement in 2014-2015. We identified the true need to establish a network which would respond to the question of evaluating evaluators, and we needed to have an opportunity to identify these as a Francophone network. We needed to identify this. So firstly, we identified this initiative in 2014, where we identified the need to set up such a network. And it was truly required and requested for these emerging networks. So this was part of the MASCEF, which started through this initiative, which was presented within the Francophone evaluation networks from January 2015. And this was truly taken as establishment of the emerging evaluators, and this continued through the VOPEs, through the evaluations process through 2015 to identify these emerging evaluators. And so that was during the Evaluation Congress in May 2015 that the initiative was launched, and the plenary meeting, and you can see in the photo here the first members of the coordination committee for the Francophone evaluation, with Mr. Benoit Gauthier from the left, who represented the Canadian evaluation, and then different members, including the vice president and also the Francophone network. And so this national movements, which were launched in 2015, and the EvalYouth was launched in 2015, November 2015, and this Francophone evaluator group was identified at a global level. So what is our vision as Francophone emerging evaluators? Firstly, it is to promote the pace of emerging evaluators within VOPEs and the global community. They need to find their place and identify their importance in order to share their vision and truly make their contribution. The VOPEs need to identify this opportunity to work within the VOPEs in order to find their place within national associations and globally and regionally. And the vision also to strengthen the capabilities of emerging evaluators, and that means that we need to have capacity, the contributions that they can make in emerging areas, and then finally to support the professional development of Francophone emerging evaluators. That is truly based on the professional development of their different activities. So, to summarize, since 2015, what has the Francophone network done? In summary, we are represented in At 18 VOPEs, 18 French-speaking countries, we have got 320 members. Approximately 73% of them are men and 23% are women. We also have 21 focal points. Our strategy within each national association, we have a person who is there to represent Francophone requirements within the VOPE. They are the ambassadors at national level to advocate for the Francophone emerging evaluators. And so we have got a voice which is making its contribution at national level and for the emerging evaluators. And 832 emerging evaluators are followed on Facebook, and you can see some photos of members who are acting for our cause. So we've got a plan which was developed following the forum which was held last year in Marrakesh in Morocco. And there are 4 main keys for the period 2017-2018. And these have been identified to enable us to work in the next year. These are to strengthen capabilities of emerging evaluators, so webinars, and a survey which has been carried out, which has enabled us to identify the strengthening of capabilities, and that enables us to have webinars to support the emerging evaluators. We've also got the contribution to the global community and networking, which, such as we are doing, we've got to strengthen the capabilities of the movement. There is the professional insertion through mentoring, through training. We have massively subscribed to EvalYouth activities through the work which has allowed us to take part in these initiatives, which we have done massively to benefit from this work. And we have got a platform which will allow us to have a link between demand and for evaluation and training, which is not often available across Francophone areas, but this enables us to follow the demand for evaluation across these areas. And finally, we wish to massively communicate our activities through social networks, through our newsletters, and this allows us to shed light on the contributions of emerging evaluators in the Francophone regions. So there's a working group working on each of these areas, which has allowed us to identify 89 volunteers who make up the different working groups and are making their contribution to the emerging evaluators. And this contribution enables the voice of these emerging evaluators to be heard. So I am now going to present rapidly our achievement. We've got a coordination committee which is working on a voluntary basis. Marie Chavez is going to present soon. For communication, we've got Saturn Reduce, and to the in terms of strengthening capacity, we've got Safiatou and Idrissa in Senegal and Idrissa in the evaluation network. And we've got the professional insertion, we've got Ines, and finally we've got the global community, we've got Marian and Papa Suleiman. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all volunteers, people who are working as volunteers and across the coordination team who are giving their time free of charge to be able to promote the cause of emerging evaluators. Their sacrifice, and they're very happy to do it, and I would really like to thank everybody who is taking part in this. Then, some of our achievements in the Francophone Emerging Evaluators. We have benefited from the Canadian Evaluation Society and from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. In 2016, we've got a project within the VOPEs of emerging countries, and we've got these different associations who received grants from these significant activities, which were greatly appreciated. We've also been able to act on different emerging activities across the Francophone areas, and this has enabled us to identify the different emerging activities and the different emerging evaluators in different Francophone activities to identify the prospects, as well also to identify the evaluation sources in English, with very few of them are in French. So we've got a working group that's been working on the translation of some documents to ensure that these resources are available. Also, during the conference in Africa, we were able to hold 2 panels on emerging evaluators, which were chaired by RFPE, which based on different pillars of the sharing of expertise in terms of professional and capabilities, as also as identifying the prospects and the initiatives on a more global basis with their contribution to be able to promote emerging evaluators. We have also been able to identify an agreement for partnership agreement which we signed with the ENAP, and which is based in Canada, and we have been able to receive 13 grants to support Francophone emerging evaluators to take part in the International Forum for Development, which took place here in Quebec. So that was truly a real achievement for us, and this partnership is continuing now to be able to support the emerging evaluators. So I would also like to say thanks here. So also the identification of subjects for the development of capacity that we've got through the surveys which were carried out, which enabled us to begin to plan our activities for 2018. We've also got an opportunity to identify emergence of emerging evaluators in Senegal, where we have emerging evaluators who are members of association, and Burkina, we have got a committee, a national evaluation committee for the emerging evaluators. In Morocco, we've got book committee for Moroccan Evaluation Society, and in Niger as well we have also got such groups. So these are results which we can start to see and which have enabled us to identify what we are doing at the moment and achieving. And as we can see, is we now wish to be able to continue to establish, to promote this evaluation, because we wish to continue to promote this evaluation in Francophone. So here we've got some pictures of our activities, because they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. AFREA, the participants who took part in AFREA. Then we've got the recipients of grants from PIFID, and we've got photos of the different initiatives, different pillars for the emerging evaluators. So with these photos show that we have really been able to capitalize on the number of activities and these emerging evaluators have been able to take part in. So what are our strengths? What are the strengths we have? The strengths we have is in terms of Francophone emerging evaluators. Firstly, the strong commitment and the will of the emerging evaluators to take part in our activities. they really persevere in those activities and can really support to carry out these activities. Firstly, there is a diversity and the richness of the expertise of our members across the different regions, and the surveys, the polls, the IT skills, and these enable us to identify the different skills and to be able to use them across our activities to really find the skills that we need during the activities which we carry out. Also, there is a winning partnership with EvalYouth, which has enabled us to present at the last Global Forum, where we were able to present this initiative, and the result of this participation gave us an opportunity today to present what we are doing along with all of the EvalYouth team, and this is a winning partnership which we wish to continue. So the challenge is firstly the lack of financial partners, because we don't currently have a donor. That is a challenge for us, which is for the setting up of our programs. We really need financial support to be able to continue our activities. There is also the challenge of the geographical distribution of our members. So with the communication challenges, the connection is not always clear. So the outlook, the prospects, is to strengthen collaboration with the Emerging Evaluators networks. And so I'm now reaching an end. As I say, the Emerging Evaluators are the future for evaluation, and together we are building a better world. And we are going to be able to really create a better world. So thank you sincerely. This is what I have to say. And so now, if there are any questions which I can answer to, I will hand back to you now. Thank you.
Thank you, Michel, for sharing your experience with us. We do have a few questions, but we don't have much time. The first question is, how are Francophone evaluators influencing governments in decision-making? Sorry. Is the Francophone Evaluation Network a free network, or is there any requirements for who can be involved in the network? For example, should young and emerging evaluators be a member of their national VOPEs to be part of the network? Another question is, have you done a needs assessment with emerging evaluators to develop the action plan of your network? And then we have people asking, how can they get involved from their different countries or where they are based? So I'm going to give you back the floor. I'm going to paste these questions on your private chat box, or if you need me to repeat them, just let me know and I'll take the floor again.
Bien. Thank you, Sophia, for these questions. In terms of Francophonie, in terms of the question of needs for evaluation, yes, we have done an evaluation. As I said in my presentation, we ran surveys which enabled us to identify needs in terms of our activities. So that's truly been done. So firstly, for the taking of decisions in the different countries, we've got the groups working to put in place our activities, but if you wish to be part of the evaluation network, you simply need to go to the website where rfi.org, where you can register, and you then automatically become a member. It's free of charge, and you can become a member directly. You do not need to be a member of a VOPE to be a member of a group, but we encourage it strongly to become a member at a local level, because that's where there is the most capability and the greater capacities to be able to continue. I think that is what I can say to the different questions, but if there's I think that answers the questions. It is free. You don't need to pay to be a member of the Francophone groups. Membership is free. I can send you the link in the chat. I will send the link in the chat. Thank you, Sophia, for these questions.